going on, everyone? Back. Another episode, Coffee with Cardi. On to episode 12. Honored to have Kevin Moore on with me today. Kevin and I, first, how are you doing, Kevin, before I introduce you?
I'm good. Just came out of a pool. My first day off in a week, so
Yeah, it's been
good. Yeah.
I don't know about you in Rhode Island, but it's been hot in New York, and
Oh yeah. And especially at work when I do these curbside pickups, I'm just in and out of the AC, and my body's just not used to it at all. It's brutal.
the worst was last summer. Kevin and I worked at Dick's last summer. Kevin currently works there, different stores, but our AC was broken the entire summer, and it was just like
Oh, what?
it was
What?
I would just be hauling kayaks up and down, sweating profusely.
Oh my goodness. They, for some reason, they don't have. I mean, I guess I understand, but it was Sunday, and it was like 11:30. We opened at 10. The AC wasn't on, and I'm like, what are we doing? If customers
No,
here,
it's
can we turn the AC on?
yeah, it's brutal. I guess Kevin and I first met my freshman year.
Yeah.
I want to say in one of our journalism classes, we did
Yep.
a feature, we did like a package thing for something, and it was like I tried looking it up, but it's actually the worst thing I'm sure I've done.
Didn't you wear my sweater?
Yeah, I was
You had
wearing a
that.
sweater that was like a size too small for me. I was just like staring at the camera with no emotion. It was terrible.
What was that, Barbara?
Yeah, it was Barbara Marr.
Mar?
I think it was
Yeah.
Journalism 115.
Yeah, she has like the nastiest sandwich I've ever seen in my life. It's like Swiss cheese, roasted red pepper, like spinach. There's no type of meat in it. And I think mushrooms.
So yeah, Kevin and I have suffered and gotten through a lot of journalism classes for the last 4 years. So and we also interned together, not the same time, or the same time, different companies. So we have that
Yeah.
experience. And Kevin is also my personal shoe advisor, so he helps me with any questions with the sneakers. He's got me covered.
I try.
But I haven't been to Rhode Island in about 2 months, and it seems like everyone's just sort of over COVID. What is like, what's Rhode Island like currently with coming out of it a little bit?
It's I haven't been able to go anywhere, so my parents had bought me a basketball hoop, thank God, because all the parks around me are closed. And my neighbor was actually driving by, and he was happy to see us playing, hearing basketball being dribbled, like kids outside having fun because everybody's been inside. It's I was on Federal Hill in Providence this past weekend for my friend's birthday, and they shut down the whole street. And by like nightfall, it was like if people didn't have masks on, you would think like Providence was back,
Mm-hmm.
but it's slowly coming back. But I think it's coming back a little too soon because I saw phase three, and I think the governor's trusting Rhode Islanders a little too much with some of the stuff that's going to be open. But I mean, it's summer in Rhode Island, and this is when they make their money. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's a tough thing because it's like we want to be out of it, but we honestly probably should wait a little bit.
I haven't even been to the beach yet.
Yeah.
This is the longest I'm normally like 3 trips in by now, but haven't even been.
So are you I assume you're wearing a mask out Dick's all day
Yeah,
during work?
all day you have to. Even in the parking lot you have to. My manager was like, somebody's always recording you, so keep your mask on. And I have to wear gloves.
Yeah.
You have to spray down everything every hour. It's different, but I mean I understand it.
Yeah, I live in New York, but Connecticut 2 minutes away. So I've been
Yeah.
going to the gym recently.
hmm
It's not good. People just aren't wearing masks. It's like 50-50. So I agree with you. I think it's a little too soon.
How was that? Because weren't you in Rhode Island going back to New York?
Yeah.
So how was that?
It was a little. In New York, obviously, was a little stricter with the guidelines.
Mhm.
Because it got a little hit harder. It's definitely an adjustment because of how stricter New York was as opposed to
Mhm.
Rhode Island. But like you guys said, you're in phase 3. I don't even think New
I think
New York's not decided on a phase 2 yet. So
yeah, it's
uh,
I mean Rhode Island's so small, so they can
mhm.
sort of manage it a little better. But phase three hasn't started yet, but I don't gonna be soon.
Yeah, people are just like, I think it's more of just like people are over it. Like they just don't.
Oh, yeah.
It's like I'm gonna go crazy inside if I stay anymore. But
It's
hopefully,
it's
we
funny though. Like
just.
I'll go into I'll leave my car like, oh, my mask, like I'm Spider-Man or something, like forgetting my mask to go to the store. Like,
Mhm.
oh snap.
Yeah, that's the masks are gonna be around for a while, I think.
Oh, I have another semester. So I was supposed to finish in the summer.
Hmm.
So I have another semester that I didn't want to take any online classes. I'm probably just gonna have to wear masks and pants class
Dude,
for another hour and a
that's
half.
gonna be. Oh my god, I would love to sit in that class, pants talking about having a mask on. Oh my gosh. But I mean, at least you. I mean, there has been signs of improvement though, because about I think like April, we were thinking like, there's no way we have classes in the fall on campuses.
Yeah. Once my cruise was canceled in May, I had no hope for anything. I
Hmm.
was sad for a while.
Yeah, a lot of things got canceled. I guess we'll move on to obviously around the country, the Black
Mhm.
Lives Matter movement has been rightfully and a little not delayed, but I mean, um, and what has it been like? I know in Providence, and what has sort of been your reaction to the movement around the country and all the protests going on?
So I was actually little. I was lucky that I actually took a class, Black Lives Matter. URI offers that class. Um, so I took it right before this happened, literally, and we had to read 3 books. The New Jim Crow, which is about mass incarceration of Black people. Um, Nobody, just basically how America views Black people as nobodies, well, historically. And then one of the better books that I've read, Invisible Man Has the Whole World Watching, which that is kind of what I view this, like this movement has one, because the book that I mentioned previously, Nobody. So essentially it's another like Invisible Man, but everything we do, the whole world's watching, because you saw for the last month and a half, the news just nonstop, just all
Hmm.
protests, looting, which I mean that's not just Black people, that's everybody looting, and social media. Um, I've seen people speak up that I liked. I've seen people who haven't spoken up that just raising an eyebrow. But I, my whole reaction was, I'm glad it's happened now, but what's so different from when Mike Brown was shot in the street and his body was left there for 4 hours? Why is that so much different than what's happening now? Like, what made this now become what it is? I'm happy it has, but
Hmm.
like, why why did it take so long? Basically, why did it take 4 years? And I understand like people seeing a man, George Floyd, knee on his neck, which ironically Kaepernick got torn up for taking a knee, so that was a
Hmm.
symbol right there. But I understand it, but it just took a long time, a
Yeah,
long
and
time.
yeah, it's one of those things that I hope and I think that we're seeing that this isn't going to be another, we're just going to move on so quickly like we
Mm-hmm.
did in 2016 and all the times before.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you're spot on with this shouldn't have taken another man to die, another
Yeah.
loss of life to realize that there's something broken in this country. And I'm on the same track with you that I took a class at URI this past spring, race and diversity in the media, and that too
Mm-hmm.
was just, I mean, for me it was eye opening just to see the how racism is not even close to a thing of the past, how
Oh
it's
no.
so not even like hidden, it's just blatantly out there. Like I remember I did some research project about how you had to look for overt
Mm-hmm.
scenes of racism in our country. And right off the bat, the
Oh.
fact that Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben are still brands that are marketing in our supermarkets and everywhere is
Mm-hmm.
it just makes you scratch your head and really just makes you, I guess, just in disbelief,
Yeah.
honestly, that something like that is allowed to continue.
I went. I had the protest, the first protest in Providence. my sister wanted to go, so I used ABC Six's parking lot. Shout out to them to park there. I walked her
And Orm
down.
Street.
Yeah. I walked her down just to make sure she was all right.
Mm-hmm.
And I was there for like 10 minutes just because I support it all 100%. I just was not ready to be in a crowd of that many people this yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I was shocked at how many white people were there. I was like, wow, this is something. 'Cause I looked around, maybe every one black person, there were like three white people. So I mean, and Providence is moving to a young city,
Mm-hmm.
but of course there was a lady in a pickup truck like saying all lives matter, which I'm actually back to the movement. I'm glad that people like when Kaepernick took a knee, he said police for police
Mm-hmm.
brutality. So I'm glad people aren't twisting those words anymore like how they did. There's a lot of people in high powers speaking up, and when Drew Brees said what he said,
Yep.
um, it took some persuasive words from Malcolm Jenkins, but he understood it. And I
Mm-hmm.
mean, a lot of people have put out statements and no action, but he actually took action and came, kind of tweeted at and came at Donald Trump on Twitter, which was it was nice to see. He listened and he not only put a statement out, but he acted on it. So I just hope people act more instead of just talking.
Yeah, that for me, that was one of the biggest things that I realized was that when Kaepernick took a knee, nobody was listening to him. People just saw him drop and they said, he's disrespecting our flag. He
Mm-hmm.
doesn't like the military or our veterans. So we don't support him. But he said it from the start why he was doing it. And that's the biggest thing that I guess the difference is today as opposed to 4 years ago is people are finally listening and realizing that, what they're doing, why they're doing it. And then they're also, like you said, joining in on it. It's not just people of color. It's, everyone that may not be directly affected, but they're still petitioning and protesting, which is, it's great to see.
I just find it crazy that people are just fighting just to be treated like people.
Yeah, it's
It's
Michael Shea on SNL.
Yeah.
It's a joke. He said it, but it's true. He's like, black people are just asking to matter. Like that shouldn't be something to protest. That shouldn't be a discussion. Shouldn't be not given to you. It really makes you scratch your head.
Yeah, I'm glad it's happening now. Like I see it on social media, like every day, no matter like it's been over a month. Like even in the initial, when it first started, I was talking to some of my friends, and I was like, yeah, like I didn't think it was gonna get this far. I was like, in about 2 weeks, people will go on with essentially their lives, but nope.
Mm-hmm.
Which I also think the virus aided that because we can't do anything.
Yeah, there's nothing to distract it.
There's no sports. There's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So this is it, and the virus, and people are sick about talking about the virus.
Yeah, people are sick about being inside talking about the virus, and you're exactly right that it really brought it to the forefront, and there's no running from it. There's no hiding from it. This is the main issue in our country, and it's finally getting the call to action that it needed.
Yeah, and I'm glad that sports figures really in the fact that sports are speaking up, and not just LeBron and those big time players, but people who like the Mississippi State running back who said, "You guys don't change the flag, I'm not going to play."
Mm-hmm.
And we all know how much college football means down there.
Yeah, that was the scene yesterday at Talladega. It gave me chills. Just the fact that somebody would do a disgusting act like to put a noose in, like it realizes how much further we have to go in our country, but to then see the solidarity of NASCAR to come together behind Wallace was truly, it was great to see.
Yeah.
And Tom Herman said it, the coach of Texas.
Yeah.
He said they'll root for us on Saturdays, but they won't treat us with the same respect when they see us in the street. And that really made you think, just like it's so hypocritical to still judge people but then at the same time support them like you do with college football.
I always found it hilarious how, like, even Alabama, when Trump went to the Alabama game, he had those cheers, and then the kids on the field, most of them don't really like him. But
Yeah.
those fans who were cheering for Trump turn around and Henry Ruggs can return a punt, and for the 3 hours they'll love him like he's their Trump. And then once that game's over, he's just another Alabama.
Yeah. And it's the same thing that we saw, like we learned about in history of broadcasting of, people only saw or used black people for entertainment purposes. They didn't respect them. They didn't care
Yeah.
about them, but they wanted
Mm-hmm.
them for entertainment purposes. And it's the same thing that we're seeing today. Even it's just a different venue.
Yep.
But back to, I guess, Kaepernick. And the crazy thing too is I was listening to another podcast, and the I guess the thought process, he knew what he was risking. He knew that this was a possibility.
Yeah.
And it makes it even, it makes you applaud him even more. The fact that, he saw what was wrong and he said, I don't care what happens to me.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. I mean, it's absurd, the people that get signed over him. Like, he's better than any backup in the league right now.
He is, his last year, he had Chip Kelly as his coach.
Yeah. And I think it was Chip Kelly's first year too with 49ers.
Yeah, he threw 16 TDs and 4 interceptions. They were beating the Patriots at halftime. I remember that game. That was the thing about him was he started out games really well, and then in the second half he struggled. But that was just because Chip Kelly's offense was very predictable by the time. Once teams could make adjustments to it, they were stunk because Chip Kelly couldn't adjust to adjustments. He just ran what he ran, and then from there, either they were successful, they weren't.
No, and nobody, because a lot of people I see, they go on they say Cap isn't. It has nothing to do with that he took a knee. It's that he's not good enough, and that's ridiculous.
Like, wasn't Josh McCown on ESPN, and didn't the Eagles sign him?
Yeah,
like, I'm not saying like, but like, and also like Mike Glennon, like. Come on, what are we doing? And
he's not Tom Brady. He's not Aaron Rodgers, Pat Mahomes. Nobody was saying he was, but he's damn good enough to play in the league. Kevin is wearing a Spurs hat. It's a very nice Spurs hat. Beautiful. But he is one of the biggest Celtics fans I know. And actually probably in Boston and New England. What was your reaction when they were like, NBA is coming back, we're just going to run the playoffs?
Oh, I went on YouTube and I literally watched maybe an hour of just Jason Tatum being interviewed. And then I watched Jaylen Brown highlights, and then I watched Kemba Walker. I went so low that I was watching Romeo Langford's high school mixtape.
Oh, my God. High school, too.
I'm like, this guy's going to win us a playoff game. But no, I love this team. Like, when I took my girlfriend to a Celtics game, that was probably like the top 5 days of my life, just because I've seen some crazy NBA players like live, but seeing this team live with Tatum, how he's playing Jaylen Brown, I've never seen Kemba Walker, but seeing him, never saw Gordon Hayward because when the games I went to, he was always hurt.
Yep.
But yeah, seeing them live this team is special, and I'm excited.
It's definitely going to be interesting too, because we'll see how players respond with a 3-month layoff. But take the fan out of you. What do you think this team does in the playoffs?
See, I think their youth helps them. I don't think they'll win it, but I think they'll come out. It's tough because the currently how they are now, they're matched up against the Sixers. The Sixers are terrible.
Especially against the Celtics in the playoffs.
But they're terrible away from Philadelphia, but every team's all in Orlando. But the Sixers are still the most talented team in the East if you just look at their roster, their starting 5. But I just think the Celtics are going to come out the East because their youth and their depth. I don't think they'll win it all. I still think the best team in the NBA is the Clippers. Like, you can't tell me
Really? I can't make a case for the Lakers.
I love LeBron. I love him like he was Jason Tatum, but you can obviously make a case for the Lakers.
Yeah.
Because it's LeBron and Anthony Davis. I just think the Clippers are better
it's the
only thing about is Paul George. You don't know because he's he's had an injury history. So after this restart, I don't know if he'll continue. But so is Anthony Davis too at the same
Yeah.
time.
And I
But
think
we'll see.
the thing about the Clippers too, when you look at it, top to bottom roster, they obviously they have more depth and a better supporting cast than the
Oh,
Lakers.
yeah. I mean, when you have Lou Williams coming off the bench, it's
Yeah.
Montrezl Harrell too. I
Pat
mean,
Bev,
yeah,
Marcus
he's
Morris.
Patrick Beverly's annoying. All right, let's just he just like Russell Westbrook said, he does a whole lot of nothing. He just moves around.
Yeah.
If anybody watches that clip of Beverly was in LeBron's face, and you know when you see like an ant on a table and you just flick it,
Yeah.
that's what LeBron did to Patrick Beverly.
That was
So
I think
yeah,
what was it? Pat Bev was like, they were like, "What's the hardest thing about covering LeBron?" And he's like, "It's not hard." And it's like, okay, sure.
I mean I like that dog in any NBA player, but
Yeah.
let's be honest, it's LeBron James we're talking about when you're like, I don't know, you're Gary Payton if he had a stroke.
He's nowhere near offensively as good as Gary Payton, but
Oh no, just I mean defensively wise.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
So you have for me I'd say they could reach the finals, the Celtics. I just don't see them beating one of the teams in the West.
If it's the Lakers, I mean I don't. It's gonna. I don't know because they played the Lakers
It's
well and they
so
played.
who knows
Yeah,
what's gonna happen.
they played the Clippers well. It's really. I wouldn't even be surprised if the Rockets won. Like it's any like or the Heat. The Heat
Yeah.
could win. The
Jimmy
Bucks could
Butler.
come out on a roll. Yeah, the Bucks could come out on a roll. I mean, then LeBron can just be rested and steamroll everybody in the West. So, well, it's really interesting, but I'm highly confident in the Celtics. I'll just keep it like that.
Highly.
Yeah, like I'll
Taco
be
Fall now
disappointed if
too.
they lose. Oh Lord, yeah. I mean, everybody loves Taco. It's Tuesday, it's Taco Tuesday. Like I said before, I had my Moe's, but he's not ready for this.
No,
He's not ready for this yet.
I honestly think the Lakers are gonna win. LeBron's gonna go on some 2016 type vendetta, and
I wouldn't be
just
mad.
no.
I would. It's I mean, because it's another championship for my argument about LeBron better than Michael Jordan. But it's also Lakers tying the Celtics for most championships. So
Yeah.
you know, it's a kind of a lose-lose if the Lakers win. Even if I can add a ring, like because they'll just say it was a shortened season. So
Yeah, that's
I hope he doesn't win this year. Next year he can, just not this year.
so. Did you watch The Last Dance?
Yeah, oh yeah, I watched that. I was on PlayStation with my friends, and at 9:00, I was like, yeah, I'm getting off. I'll be back in 2 hours.
So
Every last episode.
yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
You said you think LeBron. Do you want to state your case on why you think LeBron is better than MJ?
I mean, no, it's more of I like I want MJ. I'm not mad if anybody says MJ is better than LeBron. It's just Michael Jordan. He brought teams that were not that good places, but LeBron James brought teams that were not
Had
that
no
good to the
business
finals.
being in the
I mean,
finals.
people say LeBron's record 3-6 in the finals. He played like three of the greatest teams of all time.
Oh yeah.
His first finals against the Spurs in 2007, and then the KD Warriors. I mean, obviously the one against the Mavericks wasn't good, but you could have put Larry Bird on that Miami team. I don't think anybody's going to beat Dirk. Like,
No.
and I mean, you even had JJ Barea scoring 20 points a game. Like, I've been so bored. I've been watching those finals games. I'm like, what the hell? But I just he's LeBron's the first of a lot of NBA players to do stuff that nobody's done before, and he's going to end his career as the first to do many things. And I just think players are stronger, faster, and I'm not mad if anybody says Michael Jordan's better, but I just think LeBron is.
Yeah, no, I see it. For me, the way I sit on it is, I love LeBron. He's a great person.
Yeah, that's
alone,
probably
apart from basketball. Like he's one of the first athletes to really put his money where his mouth is in terms of giving back, and it's hard to hate him, honestly. But you're right. Like it's not like you're saying like, oh, I don't even know, like
yeah.
Jason Terry
It's
is
not
the
like you're
greatest
saying
player of all time. Like
it's
no,
not like you're saying Eli Manning is better than Tom Brady,
yeah,
but
like it's. I mean, we can talk about that, but
no, we're not.
no, you're right. It's not an outlandish claim to think that, and it's not even outlandish to think Kobe or Kareem or
No,
even
it's
them
outlandish to
is.
think. It's
You really
outlandish
think
to
that? That's
like you. Like I get in arguments with Lakers fans all the time. You cannot tell me you've watched Kobe and you've watched LeBron and say, yeah, I think Kobe's better than him. Like obviously Kobe played longer and there's more moments and he was younger in his prime and all that.
mhm.
But LeBron's different. Let's
The
not
thing.
forget he brought that team that last year, the Pelicans, to the third seed in the West.
Yeah.
Like,
The the thing that I see is with especially with Kobe is like you could never put Kobe above MJ just because it's like Kobe
yeah,
just
no,
took what he did and copied it. He was better in some parts and not as good in the other. So it's like two versions of the same car. You can't say one's better.
yeah,
But LeBron, you're right. It's just like you go back and look at the '07 Cavs, the 2016 Cavs.
yeah.
Like,
It's like he if
what else do you want from him?
he if they in the first Warriors championship, if he just had Kyrie or Kevin Love, they would have won.
Yeah, he needed
He
either
brought
or.
them. He brought them to 6 games with Dellavedova and Tristan Thompson.
Dellavedova had to go to the hospital too because he was not used to playing that many minutes.
Like, come on, that's I'm leading off with that. Whenever people ask
I'm leading off.
why is LeBron better than Michael Jordan? Because Dellavedova went to the hospital because he wasn't used to playing, and they
Yeah,
almost beat the Warriors.
it's outrageous to just look back and just be like even just go look at the one block he had in Game 7. Like,
I like
where did he come from?
I I want I a lot of Boston fans hate LeBron,
Yeah,
which is
naturally.
understandable because the better part of 10 years he's beaten us. But like, take a step back and just appreciate him. The way you don't understand why people don't like Tom Brady is the reason why you don't like LeBron.
Yeah.
So just stop. He's amazing. Appreciate it.
We'll switch over now. You
Mm-hmm.
brought him up, so we'll switch him over. What was it like to hear, or I mean, to realize that Brady's not going to be in Foxborough this year?
I being like being in the building, you can kind of feel it. Like something's off. Like, and you talk to people, and
Yeah,
like I talked to like Ian and Nick, and we talk about like last year and just that playoff game against the Titans. I kind of felt like I think it's the last time. So it wasn't weird until I saw the video of him moving in a Bucks uniform. Like, that's weird. And when I saw the Madden trailer of him in the Bucks
yeah,
uniform, I was and I was just in the pool with my friends, and his friends over here saying Stidham, like throwing passes saying Stidham. So we go from saying Brady to Stidham. So it's it's weird, but I expected it, so I'm not crushed. What, the Bucks? Really?
yeah.
That's
But
probably why I'm not mad. Is because it's Tampa Bay.
yeah,
But whatever.
yeah.
Have fun.
It's
Have a ball.
he'll have 2 years. He'll just have his fun, and then. But I know
Yeah.
you look 20, 30 years. You look back. Tom Brady's a Patriot, and
Yeah,
that's
and
that.
that's Joe Montana.
Yeah, it's Michael
Whatever.
Jordan.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's you think of it as a big deal now, but at the end of the day, 20 years compared to what, 2, 3 maybe, it doesn't make sense. So
Exactly.
what? You're not too high on the Patriots this year, I assume then.
Not really. Like their defense is still really good, but their schedule is so hard. Like their schedule is ridiculous. And I what might benefit them is the first 4 weeks they have to go to Kansas City and Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
If there's no fans,
Yeah.
that's not one of the hardest places to play anymore. So I mean, they're still not as talented,
Mm-hmm.
but it'll be a lot. It'll be a closer game, and also it'll help Stidham in his progression because he's going those places. Although he's not experiencing the fans, but he's seeing NFL defenses and all that. So I mean, I think the Bills are the best team in the division, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Patriots found a way.
Yeah.
And I mean, isn't there one more team in the playoffs?
Yeah, there
Yeah.
is.
So I
They
mean,
add one more.
who knows? I wouldn't be surprised just off their defense. I wouldn't be surprised if they made it, but I also wouldn't be surprised if they missed it. I kind of
For
tanked for
the
Trevor, but whatever.
That's literally been my attitude towards the Patriots for the past 4 years when I really dug into my hatred of them. It was just like I'd be watching a game, they'd be losing. I'm like, they're going to win. I can't tell you how, can't tell you why, but, they're going to win.
Oh, I'm gonna miss
Again,
that feeling. I'm gonna miss
against the
that feeling.
Falcons,
Yeah,
you're just like 21, like 28-3. Yeah, they'll pull this out.
yeah. I'm definitely gonna miss that feeling when you're down like 2 touchdowns or 3, and you're like, yeah, we're still gonna win. If you're down 2 or 3, it's probably over.
You're down one with like 10 minutes. You're like, oh, I don't know about this.
Yeah.
They're gonna
I
have to
knew.
they're gonna have to grind games out like
Oh,
14-0, 7-0 wins, 7-6.
Sony Michelle was at my job a couple weeks ago, and he's like, "Can I get do you have any Bowflex dumbbells to sets?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's gonna be a long year." I'm like, "Oh Lord, we're all sold out too," and I'm like, "No, it's gonna be a long year, man."
We're also That was the weird thing about Dick's Sporting Goods was pro
Oh,
athletes would walk in and you just be like, why are
and then
you here?
like 3 days later, Dietrich Weiss comes in, and he's getting the protein supplements, and I'm like, "What? The Patriots can't give you this? Are you getting released?" And then he comes up to me, he's like, "Hey, do you have any helmets?"
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
"You are 6'6", like 290. We have kids helmets." And then he goes, "Yeah." He asked if I know anywhere close that sells them. And I'm like, "Yeah, your stadium. Like, you can't go in there and get a helmet."
There's this place in Foxborough you might want to look
Yeah,
into.
it's about 10 minutes away.
There was last summer when I worked at Dick's, so right after the NBA draft in June, I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't I was in the building, but I wasn't near there. But RJ Barrett came in and asked for a shooting sleeve. And somebody told me, I was like, there's no way. Like, he could just call up the Knicks and be like, I need 40. And they'd be like, yeah, here you go. But I swear to it was him. I think we looked at the camera just to double check.
I would have
We're like,
tripped
yeah,
him.
that was him.
I would have
And,
tripped him because he went to Duke.
oh, that's right. I think it's a little much.
What you call it? Yesterday, Kyle Murphy came in.
Really?
Yeah, I forgot he lives in
Giant.
Attleboro. Yeah, no, my manager's a Giants fan. If he was in, he would have probably like been all over him. But you know,
And a roadie Ram. So,
yeah,
best of both
exactly.
worlds.
Yeah, for you at least.
You still go there. Relax.
I mean, but we all know. We all know.
Yeah, we all know you're a Tar Heel fan. How are they doing?
Yeah. I mean, their basketball team's gonna be good. Both teams are gonna be good. Honestly, their football team, Matt
Yeah.
Brown, has like the second highest recruiting class next year. The basketball team has the second highest recruiting class. Just give us some sports and they'll show it.
What was that? I know because you as much as you love the Celtics, you also follow the Tar Heels like nobody's business.
Mm-hmm.
But because typically in college basketball that doesn't happen to teams, but it happens to the Tar Heels about once a decade. 2009, right after they won the national championship, missed the tournament
Yeah.
completely, and then this year just the bottom fell out. So what
Yeah.
was that like just to watch?
It was. I mean, they were just injured. So like with Cole Anthony being out, it was like, all right, just play tough. But when they lost to Duke on that buzzer beater,
Yeah.
like that I just thought of Austin Rivers. Like that, they were up that whole game. They were up by like 12 with like 3 minutes left. But the group chat was like, oh my God, Kevin, they're gonna do this. And then when they lost, but the season was tough. Just they were on and you're like, all right, whatever, I'll watch. And then you watch them lose to Georgia Tech and you're like, what are you doing? Like
Yeah.
it's not like they weren't talented, but like when you got Kevin scoring more points than UNC starting 3 for when he was a CIL, I'm like, come on, man. But it was and then I saw when I went to the high school hoops hall classic, I saw Roy and he saw me in my
That's
Carolina
right.
gear. I was like 2 people in Carolina gear, and I was like, I still love you, but geez, win. But he was always he's nice.
They were so bad they made you a URI fan.
Oh my goodness, I loved calling games with you at URI because they stunk. Like watching I was excited to see URI beat what do you call who they play?
Uh,
In
uh, which Providence?
no. UMass. Like
Oh,
that was
that's right.
UMass.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I was like ecstatic watching them beat UMass.
Oh my, I remember that game was fun too. 'Cause it was literally just URI against Trey Mitchell, their freshman.
Yeah, and then it became URI versus that coach, whoever that dude was,
Oh my god, dude, only in Rhode Island that would happen.
that tweed.
Oh my god, that was a fun game.
That no, that was yeah, it was fun.
What so we both I interned at ABC 6. Kevin did WPRI 12 and ABC 6.
Hmm.
What was your biggest takeaway from both either or internship? You can do it just overall. What was it? Because for me, I'll go first. Was sort of like
Hmm.
because we were at Bruins Game 7, all the playoff games, and it was literally just like we shouldn't be here. Like this is
No, no. Oh,
this is unreal.
I remember it was when I was with WPRI, I was with Ruthie, and it was the Stanley Cup. They made the final, and we were at the practice, and I'm like, what a life, just being there and just interning. But it was it was something because you're lucky enough in Rhode Island to be able to intern one of those places because they're small.
Mm-hmm.
They're good size, but they're smaller, so they need you. And also, you get to cover the
Yeah.
Bruins, Celtics, Patriots. But like being, I'm glad I did like what I did first. Because WPRI they had a great team like
Yeah.
Yanni, Maury, Ruthie, JP. So they taught me, like showed me everything. So there's normally two of them were there. So I would like look and see like, okay, camera, they set up a stand up. This is what you look for when you shoot. This is how you write a stand up. Like
Mm-hmm.
they showed me, and then at Channel 6, I did it. Like,
Yeah.
they like high school. I the it was fun going from high school stadium to high school stadium shooting high school football. I remember when it was over, it was Friday night and I didn't know what to do, and I was like, I kind of miss going to Tiverton and Araho at 30-degree weather shooting high school. And then you worked when you were at Channel 6, and I mean they're all like everybody was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like people in the newsroom, just everybody. When you walk in the door, everybody's just so nice, and they appreciated your help, and that was nice. And
Yeah.
I mean, they still keep like I still will hear from them from time to time, and that's always nice.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to do that, so
Yeah.
I was we're lucky that we got to intern in Rhode Island, but we got to cover some crazy events.
Yeah. The way I've always sort of explained, I guess the whole state of Rhode Island is it's big, but it does not feel like it in any way.
Oh
Like
yeah,
Providence is a top, I think it's like market 60, 70,
yeah,
but it doesn't feel like it because, if say we were in Boston or even down here in New York, like if you want to intern for ABC 7, Fox 25, you gotta put enough. You gotta be top of the cream.
yeah,
But in Rhode Island, it was just sort of like I talked to Coit a couple times, Nick Coit, and he was like, "Yeah, like you seem like you would like to do this, and we could use the help, so you can come." And I was like, "Awesome!" So like after 2 conversations, no like formal application submitted, just sort of like filled out some paperwork, and I was like, "You're good to go."
yeah. My when I interned with Gresh um in the fall of 2 years ago,
Yeah.
I was taking Yanni's class, and then I was telling Yanni that I interned with Gresh. And then I had asked after like class one day if he has anything open. He was like, yeah, the summer.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was supposed to start in I think like May, but early April they called and they were like, yeah, we need help with the Bruins playoff game. Do you want to come? And I'm like, told my manager, I'm like, I'm not coming to work Friday. I'm going to the Bruins game. I'm like, all right, fine.
I
But
was
that was yeah, it's amazing.
one of my first like trips out of the studio was to the Celtics playoff game against the Pacers.
Mhm.
And I remember I was on the court with Ian Steele, and I literally was standing on the hardwood, and I was like, somebody's gonna come and ask me to leave because I felt like somebody was coming to. I was like Gordon Hayward's 2 feet over there taking jump shots. Like it's just unbelievable.
Yeah, that was I never like got to cover a Celtics game, but I mean all the games that I did cover for the Patriots. Well, not I covered, but I was there
Yeah.
at for the Patriots, Bruins, even Little League World Series
Hmm.
when I went down to Bristol with Ruthie. That was fun just because seeing kids. I mean,
Yeah.
mostly everybody played Little League, so just seeing kids have fun and Rhode Island won. So that was fun to see. And like Patriots training camp, that whole like when practice is over, all the players are just sticking around talking to the media. And then every Wednesday, when Brady like looked me in my face and said, "What's up, bro?" I was like, "Whoa."
And then when you found out you had the same haircut as one of the
Oh
Patriots.
no, yeah, we seen each other before in the
Yeah.
shop and we acknowledged it, and then he was like, yeah. So it was cool.
The funniest thing was we're not big hockey fans, and we were covering the Bruins when we were standing back there, and we literally would just stand there and just eat and just shovel popcorn into our
Oh,
mouths.
that stale popcorn was. I'd be like so energetic once the game was going on, and then once the game ended, I'm like, why am I tired? Because I had
Yeah.
maybe like 5 things of popcorn, like, and I put Sour Patch watermelon in there. Even
Oh yeah.
Patriots games in the beginning of the season when they were rolling, when remember the Jets game,
Yeah.
I was eating because they were killing the Jets, and I'm like, this game isn't interesting. And it was like the third quarter. I'm like, geez, like kind of slow right now.
Who has the better media food?
It's not even
Patriots?
close to Patriots. Oh my goodness. When I saw the steak tips, chicken breast, macaroni, baked mac and cheese, clam chowder at every game, um, roasted vegetables. They had the best apple vinegar salad I've ever had in my life. It's their Wednesday food, Papa Gino's, terrible, like awful. But their game day food is pristine.
The
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 Bruins was good. The Bruins were good.
the
The
Bruins
Bruins
were
were
good,
really good.
especially
Yeah,
in the playoffs.
yeah. That
Like I
was
think it
really
was
good.
the Eastern Conference Finals, and it was Mother's Day, so they went all out, and it was like steak and lobster, and I was like,
Oh, I wasn't there for
what?
that, but
That one was wild.
yeah.
I only got into this field for the free food. That's the only reason I became a
I
sports journalist.
I honestly, the first Bruins game I went to, I didn't realize that there was food
Yeah.
to eat, and then I'm over here like eating popcorn, just like dinner, and I see Frank Carpano come out with like a Coke, and I'm just like, where the heck do you get this food?
I figured it was all like the Ryan Center was like, yeah, here's 5 cookies and a water.
When I found out the Ryan Center only came out with one tray, like once they only made like one thing of sliders. Like PC shuffles food out, but
Yeah, but
URI says here's a thing of sliders. Have a blast. Like I know PC has a lot more media that goes to their games, but URI college kids cover that. You think we eat during class? No.
I will say the one thing that URI does that no other college team did, literally no other that I traveled to, was literally just free water. PC has that like sugar mix.
Oh, yeah.
There's
No,
just
yeah,
no water
yeah.
anywhere except URI.
I love URI, but they give Dasani water. Like,
At that point, I don't care what it is.
oh, you look up Dasani water. It's Pepsi without the bubbles.
I remember sophomore year because I was still
Mm-hmm.
living in a dorm and there was no water fountain in Hopkins Hall.
Ooh.
So literally, dude, there were times I'd wake up in the morning like dying and I'd have to run down and like get a Sprite. But literally like at like halftime in like a women's basketball game, I'd take my backpack and just shovel water bottles into it.
Yeah, like we'd call a game and you'd come out with like 19 waters, and it's the middle of the first quarter. I'm drinking like 2, and I'm like, I gotta pee.
That
I
that
can't.
was that was the hardest thing to manage was trying to go to the bathroom and still call the game.
Yeah, like
You'd see me like just run off in between a break. It
yeah,
was
you're like just hit the commercials. I'll be right back. And I'm like,
just
okay.
running in my Air Force Ones that were barely on my feet.
It's only yeah. And Dana Tang commented, and you were like, oh my god.
Dana Tate, Coach Cox. I think there's some some other people liked them, but I
I
got love on
I
those.
take full credit.
Oh
Like
yeah, they look terrible without them.
you had no idea how to lace those.
I didn't. Yeah, I was lost. They
That's the
look
easiest
bad.
thing in the world.
I haven't touched the laces since you did them in October. So
I'm blessed.
They look good. We'll move on now to the fast break. Obviously, pay homage to the GOAT, Franchini, for
Oh yeah.
inventing the fast break.
Shout out Stone.
Yeah, I said I got to get Stone to record like a 15-second history of it. But I got some questions for you, and let's have some fun. All right. This one I knew when I wrote down, but I have to ask it. Favorite social media platform?
Oh, Twitter. I literally just have Twitter and Snapchat. Instagram, I'm not photogenic enough. Maybe if I get a job, I'll get an Instagram, but Twitter.
Undefeated. Your favorite athlete of all time?
Favorite athlete? Probably Rondo. I literally had a fat head of Rondo up on my wall till about like 3 years ago, when I was like, yeah, I can drink now. I shouldn't have this fat head up of Rondo. So yeah, probably Rondo.
People sleep on him. He was disgusting.
I literally almost fought people because I was like, Rondo's the best point guard in the NBA. Like, I got pissed when people said he wasn't.
If you look up his stat lines, it's disgusting.
It was amazing.
Favorite movie of all time?
Jeez, like it's just about 300. But it's probably Little Giants.
Like, oh my God, that's such a good movie.
That movie is.
It's so funny.
I remember I was at work, and then I haven't seen Little Giants in like 10 years. And I typed it in board one day, and it was coming on. So I DVR'd it. And when I was at work, I was the happiest kid because Little Giants was on. And I'm like, I'm watching this when I get home. Now it's on Amazon Prime, and I'm like, it doesn't even feel special anymore.
It's so good.
But it's still the best movie ever.
It's incredible. Favorite thing about Rhode Island?
Everything's just so close.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whenever I go to North Carolina, my family says, yeah, we're going down the street. It takes like 25 minutes. I'm like, yeah, I've passed like 16 cities in Rhode Island. That's not down the street.
I could get to this. All right, I probably shouldn't admit this, but 2 years ago, I was going up to the PC game for URI, and Josh Toronto can attest to it because it was me and him in a car. And me being the New York driver I am, I got there in 25 minutes from South County, and Toronto looked at me like I just committed murder. He's like, "What? What?"
Yeah, people. If I have a 9:30 class, I leave my house at 9. And I'm gonna get there in like 25 minutes. This takes me like an hour to park.
Oh my God, forget it. Favorite moment or favorite memory working at Dick's Sporting Goods?
Favorite memory working at Dick's Sporting Goods.
Or like a moment that like you just didn't believe what was happening.
Oh man, that is tough because I hate. No, I'm kidding. Favorite memory? Jeez. Oh, it was like snowing one day, and nobody was in the store for like 2 hours, and we had a little Tykes hoop, and I literally just playing one-on-ones in the front of the store for the rest of the time. That's probably my favorite moment.
Your favorite shoe of all time?
My favorite shoe of all time is easy. UNC 1. That shoe is. I bought it when it came out for $200. I can resell that shoe for about $700.
Yeah.
But I never will. That is the Jordan 1. I mean, it's just a classic, but the UNC colorway is beautiful.
All right, and then I got this final one.
Mm-hmm.
Who is the best player on our intramural basketball team?
Best player on the intramural basketball team. Stone Freeman.
That's a lie.
It was me, but no.
It was not you. You were our best point guard, though.
Okay. It was you? No, it was Will. No, it was
Will Pip.
Will Pip. No, it was Will. It was Will Pip. That's exactly who it was. Will Pip had the stamina of Usain Bolt and Lance Armstrong in his prime, and just ran up and down the court for a kid who's like 5', what?
Like
6?
5'7".
Yeah, 5'6", 5'7". He's a Russell Westbrook of our team. He averaged a triple-double.
But no, Will Pip, makes you like you play with him and you're just like, yeah, I'm so out of shape.
You protect Will Pip at all costs.
Oh yeah.
That's a hashtag. But I love Will Pip.
Those that's the saddest thing about the cancellation of URI was that we never got a second season at softball.
I know. That was it wasn't didn't Cruz just take one class just so he could play softball?
He took one class so he could do WRU and play softball.
Yeah, wow. Sorry. Jeez.
We were bad though. Oh my god.
We weren't terrible.
We were bad.
We just couldn't hit.
We couldn't field either.
We weren't terrible. Well, you at first base with something.
You guys put me everywhere, and I was
No,
like, I can't.
You put yourself everywhere.
All right, I was in the outfield, and you guys were like, "You're too slow. You can't be back here."
And then you put yourself at shortstop or second base.
I was good at second. Second.
Oh yeah, right, yeah.
And then you guys put me at first, and I'm not coordinated enough to stretch and grab the ball with my left hand.
Intramural softball.
So I caught it like that.
Just wait till it comes to your mitt. You don't have to stretch. You played 5 games?
I wanted to win.
Oh yeah, we almost won that playoff game.
We did. Oh
yeah,
we almost did. The greatest what if we got another run at it this year? Might have won it all. Might have won it all.
Maybe.
All right, Kevin. Well, I appreciate you coming on. Always a pleasure to talk to you.
Yes, sir.
It was a fun time at URI, and obviously we're not dying, so I'll talk to you soon.
Oh, no. Yeah.
And I mean, thanks for coming on. You can follow him on Twitter. It's a good follow, trust me. What is it? It's underscore.
Yeah, KDM1121.
Yep, follow it. Great follow.
I will follow back. I'll keep your ratio intact.
That's all you can ask for.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
All right, appreciate it, Kevin.
Thank you.